Yes, I'm Robert Vokey, club member. You mentioned two of the significant areas of potential growth in the future being tourism and food export development. Maybe under the this may fall under the tourism area. You probably know, having lived in Europe, that there are over 100 million people who will reach retirement age in Europe and North America over the next 10 years. Many of them are looking for warm and reasonably priced places to live. And many countries are competing for those people because they represent, in many ways, almost free money, because when they bring money into a country, it circulates within the economy. Within Thailand now, under the present scheme, for every 10,000 retirees who stay for 10 years, it represents an inflow of about 80 billion baht, about $2.5 billion at $800,000 per retiree. More than that, you can just do the math in terms of the amount. And when people bring that money in, they spend it on cars and computers, and it circulates in the economy, stimulating consumer demand domestically, et cetera. Unfortunately, Thailand has been kind of left in the dust by some of its ASEAN neighbors in attracting retirees. The gold standard is the Philippines, that provides a permanent resident permit to retirees. The silver standard is Malaysia, that provides a 10-year permit under its second home program, tax-free status for car import and many other advantages. The bronze standard is Indonesia, that provides, after 5 years, a permanent resident status. Thailand now has a 1-year kind of renewable system where the rules change every year, and people are afraid to make long-term decisions and make their trek to the office. And they have no ID card, they have trouble opening bank accounts, subscribing to utilities, etc. Basically, they're treated kind of as long-term tourists, not as people who have made a joint commitment with the country, a bargain with the country that they will stay.
So the question, we can get to.
Well, the question is, oh, sorry.
What are we going to do about it?
I wouldn't make a statement, would I? In any event, the question is, what are you going to do about it? No, would you discuss it with your cabinet colleagues? Some of the changes actually were announced and never implemented. 5-year status for retirees and ID cards, et cetera, and were never implemented. It's an area of growth. It's an area where 100 million people are a potential market. So I'm just wondering if that could be included in your tourism growth area.
I would like it to be honest with you. I don't have sufficient knowledge as to which pieces of legislation, if any, would need to be amended in order for us to, be more open towards that. But clearly, it's not just European. The aging society is very much an Asian issue as well. And I agree with you entirely that it is enormous opportunity for a country like Thailand in terms of how we position ourselves to be potential beneficiaries of this demographic trends. So I take that as advice, good advice, and I will attempt to find out what the issues are and what we would need to do before we even talk about whether we would be able to do it. In order to match, let's say, the gold standard that you talked about in the Philippines.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next question.
Larry Chagan. 2 questions, but a little bit of a preamble to the first one. I've listened very carefully to your assessment of the economy, where the stimulus package is going, the need for national reconciliation. But what concerns me is that the problems of the South seem to have dropped off the priority. In the first 6 months of last year, when we had encounters, you talked about the need to relieve poverty in the South, to have development programs. There were stimulus packages, especially for the South. It seems that this year, particularly after Rajaprasong, that the South has dropped off the government's economic priority list. I just wondered, what are you planning for the future? Because obviously development of the South is just as important as development in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And secondly, the Prime Minister is going to Burma on Friday. I understand that the majority of what he's going to be talking about is economic matters, bilateral economic matters. I wondered whether you could give us any insights, or give me insights into what's going to be discussed, particularly in terms of the energy industry and the duty-free economic zone that's being planned for the other side of Thailand's northeast.
Okay. On the first question regarding economic policies for the South, actually we've been quietly but very actively busy on that front in the South, and showing some really positive signs of success, not least of using economic policy to address security problems in that area. What we've done is that we've gone in with a model saying effectively that we believe that the minimum income, if I remember correctly, for each household should be at least 120,000 baht a month, something like that. No, I can't remember the number. There is a number, and essentially we. It can't be that much. It's about 12,000, I think. Yeah, that's how much I'm paid. Sorry, 110,000, but 12,000, and essentially we've gone in to each individual villages, and in order to identify households that are earning below that amount that has been set as a cutoff, and then we have gone in to see how we can enhance income levels of that particular household, including provision of funding for them to start up businesses or have vocation training in order to be able to fix motorcycles or look after chickens and so on and so forth. And we've really gone in household by household, village by village, and I think have provided income enhancement scheme to, I think, over 100,000 individuals within numerous villages in the 3 provinces over the past year. So substantial work, and the good thing about doing this is that it's not entirely government directed. The community itself picks out individual households that particular community believes requires or needs help. So there is a community level sort of agreement on who the beneficiaries should be, and so on and so forth, and a communal sense of responsibility in helping the government oversee the efforts of those particular households. So quite a lot of money has been directed towards this, and actually we're thinking that this is a good model for us potentially to employ elsewhere in the country as well. The good thing is that it is directly measurable, because by setting a known and declared financial target, whatever one does must answer to that particular challenge of achieving that target. So you don't waste money in providing the kind of training that leads to nowhere, because the only thing that can justify the money spent is whether it ends up with that household earning the targeted amount. I have no clue what the Prime Minister is going to do in Myanmar. I really don't. In fact, it's news to me that he's going on Friday. So.
There we go. Next question, please.
Mr. Alok Chopra, club member. When you mentioned about the loan sharks, I think we have a legal loan sharks in the form of a commercial banks here. For SMEs, the spread is between 5 to 6%, which is highest in the world. Probably you will find it in Africa. They only like to serve guys who are 1,000 million baht or extremely rich clients. And they themselves involved in other businesses like cement or like real estate and all that. I don't know what sort of social responsibility they have been given. Another part I noticed today is every day BOT announces the exchange rates. But the exchange rates posted by different banks are different. Everybody has their own rates. Shocking, you know. To give you that, the euro in the BOT is 42 baht buying, and selling is 42.75 baht. But whereas one bank is saying selling is 43.25 baht, and the other one is 43.13 baht. Here again, the spread is more than 1 euro is more than 1 baht.
Question?
And you know, banks are, the TBA is an extremely powerful body. I think they control the governor who was here, but fine. I think if something could be that
Okay.
can really help the SME, and otherwise you have to give more funds to the SME banks. Just
Okay,
with that.
let him respond to that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, if you follow the news on this, you know that I'm in agreement with you that this is an issue. When the Ministry of Finance, together with the Bank of Thailand, came out with the Financial Development Master Plan last October, one of the main set objective was to increase the level of competition in the banking space in order to help address the net interest margin problem that you were referring to. Actually, it's not just the problem of net interest margin that appears to be high. It's the fees that are also charged to customers. You know, cash transfer fees, yeah, all kinds of other hidden costs to financial transactions, which Thai banks have the highest rate of growth in the whole of Asia. So from that perspective, I was mindful of this particular problem when I had the responsibility of selecting the governor of the Bank of Thailand to replace the outgoing governor. In the end, we picked an ex-central banker who has spent a significant number of years as a securities regulator, and the latter, I think, past 5 years working in a commercial bank. I don't want to say get a thief to catch a thief, because that might be misinterpreted. Because Dr. Prasan is, if anything, is not a thief. But he knows, and we've discussed this issue privately. He knows where the fat is, and if anybody can, with reasonableness and fairness, should be able to convince the banks as to where they might be earning more than is reasonable, then I think it should be Dr. Prasan. So I am hopeful that the new governor will be able to make some headway in that particular issue. But reducing the cost of financing to operators, especially, as you correctly pointed out, the small, medium-sized enterprises is critical. The SMEs are the most important segment in the Thai economy. You don't hear much about them, but they are the biggest employers, and therefore helping them reduce their financing costs will have a significant effect on the economy.
Yeah, Oliver. Yeah?
Exchange rate.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess you should shop around, I guess, is the answer. I think it's signifies the fact that there is competition. That's all I can say on that one.